In today's video, I'm going to tell you one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given. It came from an unexpected source, but as so often is the case, they're often the most powerful, those ones that sneak up on you when you least expect it. So I'm going to share that with you in the hope that it can help you on your journey to redesign your life. My name's Damien, and these are my videos about how I'm redesigning my life, how I'm going from the life that I was living to the life that I always wanted to live. And I'm on this journey with you. And it's so exciting to have you here. You know, I've spent almost 20 years working with brands and executives all around the world, transforming brands, helping them to change their direction, to change their path, and to create new futures and new experiences for customers. But it wasn't connecting for me. And it made me think that these systems and these techniques and these lessons that I was learning could apply to people, could help people to transform their lives. So that's what I dedicate myself to now, helping people, helping you to change your life, to transform yourself. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope you're enjoying these lessons. And if you are, leave a like and a comment below, and I'll be sure to reply to you. But on to today's video, let's hear about that great piece of advice. I've met many interesting people in my life, many wise people that have helped guide me on my journey. But this person, I don't even remember their name, to be honest, which is sad in a way, but at the same time, they came and they gave me this advice and it stuck with me for so many years. And it was really interesting. I was probably about 18 or 19 years old, and it was near Christmas time. I had a temporary job and we were helping to clear out a conference center. The conference center had a couple of big events on, and they were hiring additional hands literally just to pack away chairs, set up tables, do that sort of thing. So we were working long hours, getting everything set up in the rush in the Christmas holiday period. So I was there with a whole lot of other temp workers. There was backpackers and people who were in between jobs, and I was just out there trying to get some extra money for Christmas. And so a lot of the people that I was working with had only just recently arrived in Australia. So there was this sort of like camaraderie because we all didn't know each other. We'd been thrown together. We'd all met in that morning, and then we'd worked together throughout the day, shifting and unloading all of these chairs around. And I remember sitting down at lunchtime, and I sat next to this backpacker from Ireland, and we got to chatting about a number of things, what we liked, sports, all of that sort of stuff. And I ended up talking to him about film and how I wanted to be a director. And at that time, that was my obsession. That's what I wanted to become. I wanted to become a film director. And he said something really interesting as I sort of talked through the challenges I was having. I mean, look, let's face it, I was only 17 or 18. So of course I was having challenges in that. I was making short films, I was making movies, but yeah, look, I hadn't even started yet. But he said something really interesting. He said, look, you're here today, and this is director. And there's all these different little levels in between as you work your way up to being a director, all these different steps on the path. And he said, but the director at the top's not necessarily going to want to speak to all of those people who are on the ladder of being a director. But that director is going to want to speak to sound people, is going to want to speak to writers, is going to want to speak to videographers, is going to want to speak to all of the other ladders that are around them, all of these other people that are climbing up and helping to do other craft that go into making film. Because let's face it, of course, with film, there's so many different craftspeople that work to create the film. And he said that if you wanted to be a director, one of the best ways to do it is to not necessarily follow that direct path to being a director, climb that single ladder, was to go left, to go right, and climb some of the other ladders first. You never know, one of those might actually be something that's more interesting to me. Because I had told him that I enjoyed writing quite a lot, and I also enjoyed some of the special effects elements of the short films that I was making. And he said, think about that. That director's all of a sudden going to want to know a rising up and coming special effects person. Going to want to know if certainly a rising and up and coming writer. So think about that for a moment and actually plan your course in a different direction. Don't be so rigid to the path. Now, if you've heard any of my other work, if you've heard me talking about the compass system and how I've used that with brands all around the world to help them find their direction, particularly helping teams to help find their direction to produce better work, and how I've used that with people to help to guide them towards where they want to be and not have them so stuck on following a predetermined path, then you'll see where this comes from. And it comes from that advice. It comes from that backpacker who said, don't climb that single ladder. Don't follow that direct path, because it's going to be much harder to follow that direct path than it is to follow another path off to the side. Knowing where you want to end up, but giving yourself the freedom to go left and right. And I didn't realize at the time just how profound that would be, how core that would be to everything else I'm building out now, to the compass system, which I've seen change people's lives. And if you're interested in it, I'll leave a link in the description below. Go in and fill out the compass test. I'll get back to you with some information about how it can help you, how it can give you a sort of an insight into where you are currently and what direction you might need to go into next. Because we often forget, we often listen to society or actually allow ourselves to be influenced by society. And if society's telling us to go after our dreams, to go after our goals, then we feel like we have to do it. And that means following the most direct path towards them. Because if we're not on that path, we feel like we're not achieving. And that's because that's what society has led us to believe, but it's not the truth. If you follow your own path, if you go your own direction and go where your heart is leading you, where you know that you need to go, then you will get to where you want to get to eventually. Think of it like an explorer. Explorers got a compass and they want to go north. But in the way, in between them and where their destination is perhaps a big mountain. Now they could go under the mountain. They could go over the mountain. Now both of those are going to be very difficult. But they could go off to the side, go around. Perhaps they're going east a little bit. They're moving around, then slowly come back up, then come west a little bit till they're back onto the original plotting, and then they head north again. They've got around the mountain. But while they're on that journey, perhaps they discover something. They find that lost city, they find that treasure, they find those things that they're looking for. That's how you've got to approach your life. That's how you've got to think about the path that you're on. It's not linear. It's not a direct ladder, one step under after the other as you climb up. It's much wilder than that. It's meandering. So to think that you can have a set path, A, B, C, D, and that will get you from where you are to where you want to be, you're fooling yourself. It can't work like that. So every time I think of the compass method, I'm reminded of that backpacker and him sitting next to me at lunch and giving me the time. I mean, he was much older than me and I didn't expect him to have such a long chat with me, but he gave me the time. And he's one of the first people in my life that actually treated my goals and my dreams seriously. This wasn't just the dreams of some kid. He was like, yeah, that's cool. If you want to get there, this is my advice as to how I'd tackle it. And I listened to it. And it had such a bigger impact on me than just wanting to become a filmmaker. It actually taught me such a valuable lesson about my life and about how to lead and live my life. So I hope that you're taking something from this today. Even if you feel like you're stuck, just remember you can deviate. Just remember you can walk off that map, and you should walk off it. Set your direction and then allow yourself to meander. Allow yourself to explore, because it's off that path where growth happens. It's off that path where discoveries happen. Because that path has been well trod. Other people have been there before. So chart your own course. Make your own life. This is your own life. So remember that. It's about a direction, not a path. Thanks for listening to me today. I hope you've got something out of this video. If you have, leave a like down below, and I'll see you again next week.